Thank you.
How's the rest of your off-season been so far?
It's been good. Obviously got married, went on a honeymoon, got some time away, and picked up the training again, and so now we're back here, ready to roll. So I'm excited. It's been good.
Was it kind of strange at all when, before that happened, that you were thinking, wow, I'm not rehabbing right now and I'm not doing it. I'm not, you were on such a hamster wheel since you got here to finally have that time off. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I got married really a year since surgery. So, like, I got surgery March 10th. I got married March 9th. So, for me, it was like, all right, this is going to be a different kind of off season, and it's nice that I don't have to be on this schedule and regime of rehab, get healthy, and sort of stress about am I going to make it back for the season or not. So it's been nice to obviously marry Jenna, and then we sort of just have an off season to breathe and reflect on really the last 2 years because it's been go go go. So for me, it's been really good just mentally and sort of having that hunger to come back and be ready to roll. So it's been good.
Jay York said that they anticipate down the line paying you a tremendous amount of money, far more than you're currently making now. Does that sort of stuff reach you at all? And how do you take that into account with everything that you need to take into account this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've said this time and time again, just in terms of taking it one day at a time. I'm trying to win this year and do everything I can for this organization this year. Everything else happens how it happens, but for me, I need to get better from last year, on the film and the things that I saw from, last year and my rookie year. It's like, man, I've got this thing in me where it's like I want to continue to master my craft, and that's that. And so it's a business, obviously, too. But for me, man, I love this game. I love just competing with these guys in this organization. I love this organization, and I want to continue to represent myself for them and in the right way. So that's where I'm at with that. Getting too caught up in all that kind of stuff is for me, that's nonsense. So, just taking it one day at a time and getting better.
Brock, how much of that have you done in terms of the last couple of months, going back and looking at last year, and what were the things that you saw that you said, I gotta get better at?
Yeah, I mean, just going back and watching the games and sort of seeing the themes of what pop up, and then when I go out in the field and like hammer away at the little details and the fundamentals, just with footwork and timing, my eyes, concepts, all of it. There's a lot of stuff that I think I can clean up and get better at for sure. So, coming back here, it's been great sitting down with the coaches and going over games and concepts, how I can continue to get better. And so, obviously, it's good that we have a lot of film to watch. Where my rookie year, you have 7 games or so, where it's like, these are the things that came up, but also you got to rehab and get your arm healthy. So now I can actually attack those things at practice and on the field, routes on air, all that kind of stuff. So I can sort of hone into trying to master my craft.
Brock, how did you feel about the Super Bowl and how you played, and when you watched the film, what were your takeaways from the game?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's such a big game. Everything is magnified. Just every play can be the play. And so, going back, it's like, man, I could have done better here with my eyes or my feet and with this read and make that throw. There's a handful of plays. And so for me, it's like, dang, I could have been better. And I want to be like better next time we get in that position and be ready for those opportunities when they come. And that sort of sinks back to just what I said, just in terms of my fundamentals and the little details, man. If I could just do that in the big moment, then we make the right play and we get the first down, and then obviously whatever, time management, clock management, score, touchdowns, those things translate over. So that's where I'm at. When I watch it, I'm real about it. Obviously, wish you won the game, won the Super Bowl, and won the championship for this organization. But it happens, and for me, it's like, all right, I gotta learn from it, like truly learn from it, not like set the emotions and the feelings and stuff aside, like remember those, but let's be real about the film and get better from it. There's a lot of things that we can learn and grow from, so that's what comes to mind when I watch it.
Are you aware of how much your name is talked about this time of year in the draft? Teams, this is the next Brock Purdy, you're looking for the next Brock Purdy. This kind of under the radar quarterback, could be the next Brock Purdy. Does that ever come across your radar? Do you hear from some of those, maybe projected third day quarterbacks about what you mean to them?
I mean, last year, just I heard people talking about the amount of quarterbacks drafted and all that kind of thing, and maybe I had an effect on that. I'm not really sure. That's really what's gotten to me. I haven't really had anybody really reach out and ask, "Hey, I'm a day 3 guy. How can I?" It hasn't really been like that. Everyone's story and path is different, so to try to live out the same way that some other guy did, I don't think is right. I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, this guy got drafted last. There's some hope for sure, but I can't compare myself, and like everyone's got their own story, and so that's really all I've heard and how I look at it. But obviously, I'm a big believer, and it doesn't matter where you're drafted. It's what you do when you get there, with that opportunity. So that's my advice to guys that are drafted day 3 or undrafted guys or whoever. So.
When you talk about putting your emotions and feelings about the Super Bowl aside, being back in the building, do you find it something you guys talk about, or learn from it, you move on, and you're just looking forward to next season?
Yeah, I think both. You go through such a long year. It's like a marathon with these guys, from camp, off-season stuff, all the way through preseason, and then during the year. And you're playing football from August till February. So like you go through a lot with these guys, and so you do have all these feelings and emotions. You put so much into it. You get to the final game, and then you come up short in overtime. And so for all of us, it's like, dang, in the moment, it's heartbreaking. But that's the nature of the sport that you play. At the end of the day, we all love this game, and we all have passion for it. But when we're watching the film and we want to get better, you have to put those things aside and watch it for what it is. What are the coaching points? What are your fundamentals that you have to sink back to and execute? So that's what I mean by talking about it. But when I see the guys in the locker room and stuff again, man, it's we've obviously been through some stuff together, but that's the love that you have. Like, we went to war together, and now we get to do it again now. So it gets you excited.
Do you really pay attention to the draft? Will you be watching it? Will you be texting your teammates throughout?
Yeah, I'll be in tune to it for sure. Will I watch every single pick? I don't know, but we'll definitely be in tune to who we draft, and then just buddies from college or whoever in life get drafted. It's a pretty big thing for kids growing up, that they get to see their name on TV, get drafted, and an opportunity to go live out their dream. So I think it's always it's a cool time of year for sure. So I'll be in tune.
Are you lobbying at all for guys that you noticed or that you know? Are you trying at all to influence the powers that be? Like, this guy would be pretty good to have.
I mean, for me, John, Kyle, this organization, they've done a good job with, picking guys that are right for our culture, our organization. So, obviously I trust in whoever they get. And for me, it's like, whoever they do get, like, let's go. I'll be excited for it, ready to play some football with them and do what it takes to win. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. But, in terms of my input on the draft and stuff, nah.
I know players stay out of other players' contractual business. That's the way, But given the chemistry you have with Brandon, obviously to everybody, does it concern you at all when it's kind of up in the air and, it's hard to know if he's going to be even with the team next season?
Yeah, I mean, I love BA, and what we've done has been pretty cool. And like I've said this before, I'm just thankful that I have and had the opportunity to play with him and throw him the ball and win games with him. It's been awesome. And we're at the time of year where obviously you don't know. Like, as a player, it's obviously out of our control to sign guys and stuff. Like, that's up to the front office and all that kind of stuff. But, for me, I do trust John and Kyle in terms of getting guys who are going to make plays and be the right fit for our offense and everything. So my job as a quarterback is, trusting in those guys to get the right guys and play and execute and win. And it's obviously it's a business as well. So you have ask and negotiations and all these kinds of things. So at the end of the day, BA has been a brother to me, and I want the best for him. And but we're at that time of year where negotiations happen, and the business side of things kick in. So that's where I'm at with it, though.
What's your communication been like with him?
I mean, we shot each other some texts, just checking in, how's he doing, and and then seeing him at the facility, you know, and like the off-season-ish when he's coming in just to do like some rehab stuff. I've ran into him, but outside of that, it's, you know, I've told him I want the best for him and love for him, so that's really been about it. So.
Do you have plans to meet up with him and do maybe a throwing session with him and maybe the other receivers?
I mean, as of now, I'm just throwing with the guys that have reported, you know, for phase 1 OTAs and throwing routes on air and stuff. And obviously I'm on a schedule with my throwing program being here. So if he wants to come, great. I'd love to throw to BA, obviously. But outside of that, don't really know. So.
How would you say you're developing as an actor?
As an actor? I think I still need some more classes or work for sure. But been trying to have fun with it. Obviously, I've partnered with some great companies and organizations, and so, you know, whenever we have to shoot a commercial or something, I give it my all.
There's pictures that were out of you working out, and people were saying, you know, Brock's looking jacked. What are your physical goals this offseason? Can you get stronger? Can you get more sudden? Can you get more explosive? What are you working on? What are your goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously in the off season for me, you know, you want to add some muscle and stuff, but just because it's a long season and realistically it can sort of wear off over time and stuff. So yeah, get strong, look good, feel good in terms of the explosiveness with both my arm and my legs, and then I think I've said it before, but like mobility, making sure that, you know, I'm staying mobile and flexible and whatnot. So those are the things that I sort of hone into this time of year, and you know, obviously come season, that's what matters, is being in the best shape possible for what is a marathon. You know, to be able to run, make plays, throw the ball, stay in shape. You know, I'm preparing for that right now. So
You'll be part of that Dwight Clark event next month. What does it mean for you to be up there with Steve Young and Alex Smith and Jeff Garcia to raise money for the Golden Heart Fund?
Yeah, I mean, what an honor, you know, to even be able to go up and speak with those guys, like legends in this organization. Then obviously being a part of a special night to raise money, you know, for such a great organization, and obviously to help out our alumni that have given everything that they've got for this organization. So being able to raise money to help them in their areas, it's a great cause. So I mean, you know, if I was a 49er fan, I'd try to buy tickets and be there that night. So show up, baby. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you.
Drake Greenlaw ever since the Super Bowl about his recovery, his progress?
Yeah, I mean, I see him every day. You know, that boot on his foot's getting smaller and smaller, you know, day by day. He's working to getting back to on his 2 feet, and, you know, he's as optimistic as he can be, right? I mean, that's such a devastating injury, especially that time of the year, you know, the last game of the season. So, you know, I felt for him, obviously, in the moment that it happened. I felt for him ever since, you know, just checking in with him often. And like I said, he's had the best mindset just about it, and continuing to stay optimistic and knowing that he'll be back stronger than ever.
What's it been like just working with Nick, you know, on the defense? Just how has that been different so far? But just how's that process going?
Yeah, it's great. You know, I love Nick. I love what he brings to the table, and I think he's always been a really smart and valuable asset to what we do on defense. Ever since he came on the team, you know, he worked a lot with the linebackers early on, and kind of has bounced around with some of the defensive backs. And now he has his opportunity, you know, to lead the defense. And I have full confidence in him. I think the way that his mind works and his ability to teach is exactly what you want. And so I'm really excited to work with him.
Have you had much contact with Brandon Staley? Has he been involved in the defense?
Yeah, he's been around. He's been around, you know, as I've been working out here. We got a couple opportunities to just sit and chat with one another. And I love, you know, what he's going to be able to bring to our defense and kind of implementing different things in his mind, the way that he works. You could tell, like, you know, that he's been around for a long time and knows his stuff, and so I'm excited to have him as well.
What was your reaction to seeing Armstead get cut? A little bit of surprise, a big surprise?
Yeah, I mean, huge surprise. You know, for ever since I've been here, that's been, you know, we called him the blueprint for how to be a Niner. You know, that was the longest tenured Niner that's been here, and a guy that's done it right through and through. You know, and you know, to say I've been in this thing long enough where at this point nothing surprises me. You know, there's decisions that have to be made. You know, this is a business at the end of the day, And, you know, for him, I'm happy for him and the new opportunity that he has in Jacksonville to go and succeed there and provide for his family. And we obviously got some big shoes to fill at that position. And it's not up to just one guy to just come in and be the new Eric Armstead. You know, it's going to take, you know, the whole group to elevate their game to make up for that. You know, so yeah, I'm sad to see him go for sure.
I mean, not you personally or several other guys, but that this core group may not have much longer to go, just exactly intact like that.
You know, that's part of the business. You know, I don't know how long the core group is going to be around, and you know, you got to treat every year like it's your last. You know, and you don't know how long you're going to be together, so you got to make sure that you go all out every single season that you have, because that window for winning Super Bowls, it's not always open, but as long as I've been here, it's been open, and so we got to make it happen.
Do you feel like this draft is especially big because of that? We know the window's still open, and you guys are obviously very good. And do you want to see guys drafted who can help right away?
I mean, I always want to see us draft great players. You know, you don't want to see us draft bad players. So I think, you know, the draft is always really important. Obviously, you see how important it's been here, and guys playing a lot of snaps, you know, as rookies and as young players here in this organization, and being staple players for us. And so I am excited about the draft. You know, every year is important for the draft, though.
Tell us about Nick Sorensen and what you think of him, and how you think he's going to ascend to the DC spot.
Yeah, like I was talking about, you know, I really like Nick. I think, you know, having played the game for a long time, you know, he knows a lot of ball, and I think he did a great job the last couple of years of doing the ball meeting. You know, people talk about, you know, how important the ball is around here. You know, taking the ball away, protecting it on offense. He was the one that ran that meeting and did such a great job with it. You know, in part of doing his job on defense, but you know, has that leadership ability to be able to stand in front of a group and command the room. You know, so I think he's going to do a great job. I'm really excited about him.
How much does his experience in your system in the past, how much is that going to help the transition this year as opposed to last year, where it was a little challenging?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I think it'll be a great transition. That helps, you know, the fact that he knows the system, has been around it, and we just got to get better at the fundamentals and technique of what we do, as well as implementing, you know, some tweaks in there as well. You know, because we've been running the same thing for a long time. You know, teams know we're running. You know, we're not afraid of that. You know, they know we're running, but we're going to run it better than you know, than whatever they know that how we're running it, right? So I think that's the whole key to what we do. But there does have to be kind of some tweaks in there to make sure that we are switching things up a little bit. And I think Nick's going to do an amazing job.
What role do you expect to have in terms of those tweaks and actually shaping what the scheme looks like?
Oh, my role's always been to just go out there and execute whatever they tell me to do. You know, I'm obviously at a point in my career where I'm extremely confident in my abilities and helping lead the group day in and day out. So I'm going to continue to do that and find ways to get better to ultimately help the team win games.
Why they brought in Brandon Staley, sort of have a new set of eyes, because teams do know what you guys are going to do, and he can sort of help you kind of go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many smart guys in the room. You know, I think he knows a lot of football, and having a guy who's been successful in this league, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you know, and playing or coaching in different schemes, I think for sure is to our advantage and can help us a lot.
Faces added to that linebacker core. What's the communication been with them?
It's been great. You know, I love every year, you know, when we add to the group. Devondre's been obviously awesome as a seasoned veteran in this league, and I've watched and admired his game for a long time, being an All-Pro and Pro Bowler, and adding him to the group I think is going to be really big. And Ezekiel being a stud for Arizona for a lot of years. We came out the same year, and I always knew 47 on Arizona because that was the guy we were always circling in the special teams meetings as the guy that we had to stop, you know. And so I think both of them as free agents, and then whoever we add in the draft, rookie-wise, I think is going to make our room better.
Deep in the postseason for the last 5 years. When you get the band back together, what is the bigger toll that you have to face? Is it the physical part of playing those extra games, or the mental part of coming so close again and just you're starting 0-0 all over?
Yeah, they're both tough. It's hard to choose one. because, I mean, the mental part is real, right? Like you talk about not only, you know, the mental, the emotional toll of, damn, we were so close, man. And it takes everything out of you. You've got to make sure that you're really intentional about your off season. You know, however long or short it may be, you got to be intentional about getting that getaway, get your recovery in, and get that reset. Because when you come back, you got to be ready to go. Nobody cares about what happened last year. You know, teams who either didn't make the playoffs, teams that made the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, didn't win the Super Bowl. Everybody starts on the same ground level. You know, and I know I'm excited. I'm rejuvenated, ready to go. And, you know, everything's ready, set, go. Let's go.
Those two big contract extensions with the Niners and players in recent years, there's an optimal lot of drama.
No.
Again, yours was kind of the exception. You signed relatively early, mid-July, and we didn't hear anything about that. I mean, was it pretty drama-free, and do you have any advice you can send to any of your teammates?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always, you know, a lot of things happen behind the scenes that people don't see, even though people, you know, you say that I had a drama-free experience. My experience was great. You know, there was constant communication between my agent and the, you know, the guys who were involved in that deal. And we got something done that was, you know, great for both sides. But anytime there's that amount of money on the line, you know, you're talking about, you know, tens of millions of dollars that you're being paid to, you know, to perform at the highest level. It's going to take time, you know, and so whatever that takes. And you see that obviously even the guys that a lot of things happen behind the scenes or out in the media or behind the scenes, whatever, after it's done, you usually don't really hear about it again, you know, and those guys usually perform at a high level and do a lot of good things for us. So yeah, I mean, there's, you know, whatever, it is what it is. It's part of the business. And, yeah, I can only speak on my experience, right? So.
The recipient of the Dwight Clark Award, and this year it's going to Dre Greenlaw. How proud are you of him and what he's become in his NFL career?
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. You know, and I kind of made my little statement about him winning the Dwight Clark Award, and it was a huge honor for me last year winning it. And I kind of spoke a little bit about Dre and the type of teammate he is and what he means to this team. You know, guys or people outside the building, they see Dre and they see him on Sundays making the big hits and the splash plays and going crazy. But, I mean, we have so much respect for him in this locker room and who he is as a person and a player, the way that he comes to work, the things that he's overcome in his life and in his career. And so, I mean, it's no better person to win the award this season or this year than Dre.
Within a couple of months after the Super Bowl, you and Brock both had like life-changing events. You had your first child, Brock got married. When you put everything together, where does that stuff fit in, and does it take some of the sting away? Are they just totally separate? How do you sort of process that?
Yeah, I mean, that's my number one, you know, having, well, obviously first marrying my wife, and then now it's having our first baby boy together. That goes above everything. Family is number one for me, and then the football stuff comes second. And that doesn't mean that football doesn't mean is not as important. It's not important to me. But yeah, I had to obviously get over that loss pretty quick because I had something that was really important coming up. And, you know, I think that they both play hand in hand as well. You know, I think now I have even more to play for in this game. I already had a lot of motivation, a lot of inner drive, but to look at my son every day and know that I'm playing for something else as well, it could get pretty scary. So
The Giants game is sleep deprivation.
yeah, so like the pitch, we can go in detail about the pitch, but you know, I guess that's what happens when when you don't warm up. You know, you overshoot it, and then or I guess you don't overshoot, you undershoot, right? So yeah, I'll leave that to sleep deprivation. I like that. Yeah, I would love one. I would never turn it down. I don't care how bad I dirt it. Surprisingly, no. Yeah. I guess guys don't care about baseball on the football team. So, yeah. Exactly. I was very underprepared for that one. Yeah, I should have been way more prepared. I'll get a couple more practice throws next time for the next one. So, all right, guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.